YouTube, how we doing, family? It's your boy, Yo. And there's another episode of Yo Hoops. We go through every NBA game every day. Today's Thursday, February 20th, and we have a 9-game NBA card, finally back to regular scheduled programming. I'm going to walk you through every game, let you know which sides I like, and stick around because I have 2 highlighted plays for today. I do this every day for free, so make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite games in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's recap. Recapping yesterday, the Lakers looked terrible last night. I genuinely felt bad for LeBron. He has to do it all by himself at 40 years old. Luka and Austin Reeves shot 29% from the field, and they shot a combined 18% from behind the arc. It was terrible. It definitely let me know where the Lakers are coming out of the All-Star break. I'm starting to see why the Mavericks traded Luka. We're still going to give the Lakers a chance moving forward, but that definitely wasn't a good sign for the team. I'm glad we're back to a regular slate. Let's get to doing what we do and stack some highlighted wins on the board. Without further ado, let me get into today's games. In our first matchup of the evening, we have the Boston Celtics in Philadelphia taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. Celtics are laying 7.5 points, and the total is 223.5. A lot of players got to rest and recharge during the All-Star break, so a lot of the injury reports today will be considerably shorter than they were before the break. Joel Embiid will play in this one. These two teams last faced off on February 2nd of this year, and the Celtics won 118 to 110 in Philadelphia. Embiid didn't play in that one, and the Sixers were competitive, though. I'll let you guys know a couple weeks ago that we're starting to get to that point in the season where the good teams are locking in to solidify their playoff seeding. I see this as that exact spot for Boston. I see the Celtics winning this game by double digits. On the other side, the Sixers are hungry. They're tied for 11th place in the East, and they do have to win games just to make the play-in, but that tells me everything I need to know. They've underperformed all season, and Joel Embiid doesn't move the needle enough for me coming back in this game. Paul George dropped just 2 points in 37 minutes in their last outing. I can't expect Embiid and Maxey to all of a sudden make this team competitive, so we're taking the Celtics laying the 7.5 as our first selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Memphis Grizzlies in Indiana taking on the Indiana Pacers. Grizzlies are laying 2.5 points, and the total is 250.5. That's a really high total. This game should be a track meet. This is Miles Turner's first game back from injury for the Pacers, and the Grizzlies do have everyone going in this one. I have backed the Pacers in spots this season, and they stay letting me down. They definitely have hoopers, but I'm not seeing that same chemistry and motivation that I've seen from their team throughout the last couple seasons. As home underdogs this season, the Pacers are just 2-4 against the spread. The Grizzlies on the other side, they haven't disappointed. They've been cashing for us all season. They're now tied for the best overall record against the spread in the entire league. Here, healthy, I don't think they have a problem handling business in Indiana. As road favorites, the Grizzlies are now 8-3 against the spread on the season, and I think they stack another road win here. We're taking the Grizzlies laying the 2.5 as our first highlighted selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Chicago Bulls in New York taking on the New York Knicks. Knicks are laying 12 points, and the total is 243.5. The Knicks have been hooping coming into the All-Star break. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they've been covering spreads at a high clip. These two teams did last face off on January 2nd of this year, and the Bulls won that game 139 to 126 in Chicago. Zach LaVine was still on the team at that time, but it tells me something that the Bulls can go and air out the Knicks like that. Looking at the injury reports here, there are some concerns. So on the Knicks side, Josh Hart is ruled out and OG Anunoby is questionable. The Bulls have everyone going in this one. While I do think the Knicks will win this game on the money line, 12 points is too much to lay for me in a competitive rivalry-style game where we saw the Bulls have the potential to air out the Knicks. So I don't want to lay 12 points on them. We're taking the Bulls plus the 12 as our next selection of today. In our next matchup, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers in Brooklyn taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Cavs are laying 13 points, and the total is 225. Brooklyn has been decent home underdogs recently, but overall this season, this isn't their spot. The Nets are now 8 and 11 against the spread, getting points at home. And like I was saying, they have been better recently, but overall, you're losing money in this spot. Remember when just earlier I said the Grizzlies are tied for the best record against the spread in the league? Well, they're tied with the Cavs. The Cavs, as road favorites, are now 13 and 8 against the spread, and they've been covering numbers, killing the books all season. It does make me a little nervous laying so many points against a competitive Nets team. It seems like they compete in darn near every game, especially when they're underdogs. But with the Cavs healthy, coming into this one locked in, I think they air out the Nets by 20 plus points. We're taking the Cavs laying the 13 as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Orlando Magic in Atlanta taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Magic are laying 2 points, and the total is 223. Orlando. I've tried to back them in spots, and I still don't feel like I could trust these guys. Every Magic game I watch, Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner are combining for 30% from the field and getting aired out. I've always liked Trae Young, but in the last month, he's probably become my favorite point guard in the league. The Magic definitely have the more deep team and should win this game, but the form that Trae Young is in, it moves the needle enough for me to fade Orlando here. I do expect the Magic to click at some point, but I can't even promise it's going to happen consistently this year. We're taking the Hawks getting the 2 points as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the LA Clippers in Milwaukee taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. Clippers are laying 1 point. It's a pick'em here, and the total is 228. Usually we have to worry about the Clippers injury report, but here, the Bucks IR is concerning. Both Giannis and Damian Lillard are questionable for this one, so keep an eye on the injury reports because those are the main 2 pieces for Milwaukee. Usually injuries don't play much of a toll on the Clippers because their team is so deep, but that's not how Milwaukee's constructed. When their stars are out, I can't count on them. They have played well without Giannis recently, but that's with Dame hooping and Giannis being out. If they both don't play here, I think they're in trouble. I do have to see what the medical staff decides, like I was saying, but I lean towards the Clippers. If Giannis and Dame are both ruled out later in the day, we get tremendous value with this only 1 point line, or the money line is only minus 115. And I think the Clippers should take care of business. So we're taking the Clippers on the money line as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Charlotte Hornets in Denver taking on the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets are laying 16 points, and the total is 228. We already know what the Nuggets do in the Mile High City. As home favorites, they're now 14, 7, and 1 against the spread. You're cashing with Denver at home. The Hornets now fly to Denver on the second leg of a back-to-back in this one. They did get the impressive outright win against the Lakers yesterday, but I think their luck runs out here. LaMelo Ball and Mark Williams both returned from injury in yesterday's game, so I wouldn't be surprised to see either of those guys sit in this one. The Nuggets come into this one at full strength, and I think they run the Hornets out of the gym. That's nothing new from Denver. We're taking the Nuggets laying the 16 as our second highlighted selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Phoenix Suns in San Antonio taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Suns are laying 2 points, and the total is 237. This is a tricky one for me. Looking at the injury reports, Victor Wembanyama is doubtful for the San Antonio Spurs, and he won't likely play. That's huge in this one. On the Phoenix side, they'll be without Cody Martin. I don't know exactly what to make out of the game. Like I'm saying, the Spurs will have De'Aaron Fox going, but Victor Wembanyama out. That's something I haven't seen from this team. I do think the Spurs are competitive here, but without the alien, I'm looking at the total. So Phoenix is the 3rd worst defense in the league, ranking at 27th out of 30 teams. They're atrocious on defense. We know that. The Spurs rank as the number 22 defense in the league. They're in the bottom 3rd. But here, without the best individual defender on the league, I think no defense is played. There's no true rim protector on either side in this one, and I think we fly over this total. We're taking over 237 as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our last and final matchup of the evening, we have the Los Angeles Lakers in Portland taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Lakers are laying 3.5 points, and the total is 227. The Lakers shit the bed yesterday. Not only did they lose outright as 12-point favorites, but they made LeBron exert maximum effort for 38 minutes. The man is 40 years old. It's like torture. Now they travel to Portland on the second leg of a back-to-back. The thing for me here, though, is Portland comes into this one severely banged up. Scoot Henderson, Robert Williams III, and Jeremy Grant are all questionable, and DeAndre Ayton is ruled out for this one. While I'm in no hurry at all to back the Lakers after what I just saw last night, I do believe they're the right side here. They're motivated coming off of that loss, and they're the better team. With the Blazers being injured here, the Lakers have to win this game by margin. So we're taking the Lakers laying the 3.5 as our last and final selection of the evening. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We're back to our old format of having between 1 and 3 highlighted plays every day. Like I said, I have 2 highlighted for us today. So let's go stack 2 in the win column. Again, thank you for rocking with me. I do this every day for free. So make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, Yo. And until the next one, I'm going to catch y'all. Peace.